Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about Resident Evil for the PlayStation 1. It was released in North America on March 30th, 1996. Then the director's cut version was released on September 30th, 1997. And finally, the director's cut with DualShock support was released on September 14th, 1998. It was both developed and published by Capcom. And it was also available on the Sega Saturn and PC. And later on there was a version released on the Nintendo DS, and it is also available on the PlayStation Network. Back in this era of video games, I was a Nintendo 64 kid. It's not that I was biased towards the Nintendo 64, I just really didn't know anything about the PlayStation or the Saturn. Then one day I went over to my friend's house and he had just got a PlayStation and this new game called Tomb Raider, and I fell in love with the system right there. So naturally I begged my parents to get it for me for that Christmas. Lo and behold, that Christmas I received a PlayStation as well as a copy of Tomb Raider. Unfortunately, before Christmas Day was over, I had already beaten Tomb Raider. But luckily I had some Christmas money, and the very next day I went to Best Buy to pick up a new game. But like I said, I really didn't know anything about the system at the time, so I went in totally blind. But almost immediately, one game caught my eye, and that game's title was Resident Evil. So I checked out the back of the game and saw that it was a horror game, and I've always been a fan of all things horror, so it was a no-brainer. I had to pick it up. I went straight home and popped it in my PlayStation. And I have to be honest, while watching the opening cutscene, I was quite worried that I had just wasted my remaining Christmas money. Like I said before, I've always been into horror, so I've always loved and am used to cheesy acting, but the acting in this was beyond terrible. But once I got to the gameplay and saw this CG cutscene, I knew I had made the right decision. Yeah, right there I knew this game was going to be awesome. So during the opening cutscene, the team rushes to a mansion that is luckily close by to get away from the zombie dogs, and this is where you'll spend the remainder of the game. Once you do take control of your character, the first thing that you will notice is that the controls are pretty odd. I'm not sure if this is the first game that used the tank controls, as they've come to be called, but it was the first game that I played that used them, and they definitely do take some getting used to. Basically, up moves your character forward no matter which direction you are facing. Whether you're facing directly at the camera or away from the camera, up will make your character move forward. Like I said, it takes some getting used to, but after a little while, you'll get more comfortable with it, and they work just fine. Another thing that takes some getting used to, especially after playing modern games for so long, is the inability to control the camera. And the reason for that in this game is the background graphics are actually pre-rendered. Then they take the 3D polygonal characters or the other movable objects and just lay them over the pre-rendered backgrounds. I personally really like this style of gameplay, and with a game like this I actually prefer it. I think it makes the game even more creepy since you are not able to peek around the corner in most circumstances to see what's coming up. There are plenty of puzzles throughout the game, and they are all pretty clever and never overly frustrating. You start the game with a knife and a pistol, and ammo is limited, so use it wisely. You will also find bigger and more powerful weapons along the way, and as long as you only shoot when necessary and take your time with your shots, you will have plenty of ammo throughout the game. You will occasionally find different colored herbs throughout the mansion. There are green, red, and blue herbs, and you can actually mix them to have different and stronger effects. For example, if you use a red herb by itself, it will have absolutely no effect. But if you mix it with a green herb, it will fully restore your health. And you can use a green herb by itself, but it will only restore a small amount of your health. If you mix 2 green herbs, it'll restore a bigger chunk of your health. And if you mix 3 green herbs together, it'll fully restore your health. And the blue herb cures you if you have been poisoned. It can be mixed with a green herb to restore some of your health, as well as cure the poison. You will learn to combine as many things as possible, because you are limited to how many items you can carry at one time. The main reason why I almost always play as Jill is because she can carry up to 8 items, while Chris can only carry 6. There are numerous item boxes located around the mansion where you can store all the items that you're not using at the moment, and you don't have to return to the same box to retrieve an item that you have dropped off. You can grab all the items from any item box you find. You are also limited to the number of times that you can save your game. You use a typewriter to save your game, but in order for it to work, you have to use an ink ribbon, and you find the ink ribbons by searching around the mansion. But most likely, you will find more ink ribbons than you'll actually need, as long as you don't save your game every 2 minutes. Overall, I think this is one of the best and most solid games that I played back in the PS1 era. It's got everything you could ask for in a game like this. It's got great boss fights and a great sense of exploration. It's just so fun when you find a new secret area, or when you finally unlock a door that's been locked the entire game, and you finally get to see what's in there. It even has the occasional jump scare, and even though I have played this game probably a dozen times, and I know where all the jump scares are, they still manage to make me jump. Obviously the graphics don't hold up too well, and this game is well known for its terrible voice acting.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
But I highly recommend that you give it a shot. The controls are awkward, but stick with it, and you get to experience a really great game. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching my review of Resident Evil. I hope you enjoyed it, and please rate, comment, and subscribe. Take care guys.
Don't come this way! No!